once we get that information.
Regardless of the findings here, this is sort of the kind of thing that some of the critics of the penny tax were probably warning about some years ago, that there would be this massive infusion of money and that misuse or corruption or some other mishandling of the money was almost inevitable. What would your message be to those folks who said the penny tax was a boondoggle from the start and should have been voted down?
Well, I think the county has taken the steps necessary to ensure public confidence. I think the county has, from our procurement process, getting from the legal advice and the legal direction that we've in putting together our ordinances for procurement. I think we've tried to put all the processes in place to make sure that we take care of the public dollars, and that's been the concern, and we understand that was the concern from the onset of the penny program, and as we move forward, we want to continue to take care of the public dollars. So that's why we want to, as the county moves forward, we want to make sure that we continue to put things in place and take steps necessary to ensure that these dollars are being spent appropriately.
Are you confident at this point that the vast majority of the money that has already been spent has been spent properly and has gone through the proper channels?
I am confident that we have, the county has taken the proper steps as it relates to procuring this process, procuring the PDT contractors and any other contractors, and as we move forward in this process.
With respect to the forensic audit that you all will be getting, do you think it's a good idea or not to have such an audit done every year from now on for the life of the bond, the revenues coming in? Or will this be a one-time forensic audit?
Well, at this point, because of the issues that have been raised by DOR, this initially is a one-time audit, but at the same time, as we continue to move forward with the penny, just like our ordinances, I think this is going to be a fluid process. If we feel that, or if there needs to be steps taken to ensure public confidence, then we'll take those steps.
Can you identify the two firms who are getting $600,000 a year for public information services that DOR says only two people are it's on, I think, page 2 of their letter?
Well, I will say that
Page 3 of their letter.
Those and we're definitely getting clarification on those PR. We know there are PR firms associated with the PDT team. We're, like I mentioned before, we're trying to get clarification on we're trying to get the same answers from DOR. That's why we sent the response back to them.
And can you identify the attorney who was paid $250,000 for drawing up an ordinance?
I'm not sure.
That's on page 2 of the DOR.
I know they mentioned attorney and some other contractors in that process. We will, as we try to get more information, we will definitely release that information.
Why is there need for public information firms outside of the county's public information team?
Well,
especially multiple firms.
Well, just like other major programs, whether it's with the county or any other state agency, it's definitely a common practice to get outside firms to assist them in contracting. So I think in this instance where the county still has to run the county, it was important that we get, like we have a PDT firm that's specific to making sure that the penny program moves forward. Along with that firm, we need to have public information to ensure that the public understands what roads are being paved, what intersections are being widened, and what dirt roads are being paved. So I think it was an important component to it.
Right. Maybe piggyback on it, John. Does the county know the name of those two firms, those public information firms?
We, at this point, until we actually are able to release that information on getting clarification for DOR, we will release all that information. The biggest thing right now, we're trying to get clarification as well.
Were those contracts for the public relations firms, were they competitively bid?
Yes, the entire procurement process was competitively bid.
And is the work that they're doing, it's being documented what they're doing for $600,000?
We do have, in order to receive payment, there has to be a documentation process, and information will be, is received to the county, and based on work being performed, then they actually get payments, just like any other contract.
Are the contracts and the documentation, are those public documents, like, the public?
Yes, I'm sure. Some contractual matters, we have to consult with legal. There are some contracts that we may have some contractual issues with, but for the most part, any public document is a public document.
I'm sorry, if public tax dollars have been used to hire 2 outside firms to do public relations work, why wouldn't that be something that would be automatically releasable? Why wouldn't that be public information right now?
Well, and like I mentioned before, our first step is to get clarification on every single point that was made in that letter. And we sent that information out. We sent that information back to the Department of Revenue, and we're waiting for clarification. Once we can get clarification on these issues, so we won't jump to any conclusions, so we won't, we want to make sure we get all the proper information and clarification from the Department of Revenue on what the issues that they raised in that letter.
But given the severity of those issues, back to the original question that I had, the county still opts to continue with payments before at least getting the clarifications that you all seem to need, given the severity of what DOR has stated were their concerns. Are you not even considering the fact of at least postponing temporarily until that clarification comes because they have alleged illegal activity?
Well, we want to make sure that, and we don't want to, until we get clarification from the Department of Revenue, we don't want to jump and make that decision until we get clarification. And like, just like the public, just like the questions you're raising, we've got the same concerns. We want to know exactly what these issues are. We want to know exactly what Department of Revenue is talking about. So once we get that information, then we'll definitely take the steps necessary to, as it relates to moving forward.
And how will the public be informed that you are in fact moving forward? Because much of this has been somewhat sequestered away from the public.
I don't know if it's been sequestered. Once we receive the information on December the 4th, since that point, between administration and legal staff, we have put together a response letter to get clarification, and we've sent that information back to the Department of Revenue to get clarification.
Are you contemplating, or have you done, have you hired an outside law firm to help you handle the DOR's concerns?
Well, with our procurement process, we've had an outside law firm that has helped us with that procurement process, and they have continued to advise us to this point.
Is that Brian DeQuincy Newman's law firm? Whose law firm is that?
No, the law firm that helped us procure with our procurement ordinance was the McNair law.
The McNair law firm.
How many penny, roughly, I know you have, how many penny projects are going on right now with dirt moving? Roughly.
That would be, our transportation director could give you a better projects. But we've got a lot of dirt road projects that are going right now. We've got a lot of resurfacing projects that are going right now. Some intersection widening. So we've got quite a bit of projects that are in motion as we speak.
Any sense of how much has been spent so far, or how many?
I don't have that exact figure right now, but that's definitely information we can.
Is there any sense going forward that this program could be halted, that you'd have to stop collecting the penny tax?
Not at this point, but we will continue to pave roads and continue with the program. Like I said, we're still trying to get clarification. from the Department of Revenue, but at this point, we don't see that.
You say that you all are seeking clarification from the Department of Revenue and that you're unaware of some of the specifics behind some of their claims. Do you all, does County Council receive a briefing from the county administrator or transportation director? And if so, how often do you get those briefings and what do you all discuss in those briefings?
A briefing as it relates to this letter or? in
To
general?
the general penny program?
Yeah, they're between we've got a transportation committee that meets on a regular basis that reports back to council. So we often get where there's a new project that they're trying to procure. We often get the transportation director sends out updates as well. So we do get information on